Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we give all honor, glory, and infinite praises to
YAHAWAH BAHASHam YAHAWASHI BAHASHam THAWADAH.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstones who move well and teach well. And peace and salutations to their hopeful way scattered abroad. Shalom to y'all. And sincere Akim and Afla that are tuning in. Hey, shalom to y'all. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, we are the brothers, the warriors, the YAHAWASHI, out here in H-Town, pushing the good news of the return of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWASHI Mashiach, who war ignorant called Jesus Christ, right? And the downfall of Babylon, aka America. Alright, THAWADAH for tuning in. Alright, Lord willing, let's be edifying. Alright, so the title of the lesson, it goes into YAHAWASHI will return unexpectedly. All right, so you gotta be on your P's and Q's. All right, much higher than you did last month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, last week, yesterday, last night. All right, because YAHAWASHI is going to come unexpectedly. We can already see the signs of His return growing daily. All right, so we're just gonna hit the book of Luke. All right, the book of Luke, chapter 12. Verses 35 all the way to 53. All right. Hey, shalom, shalom, all right. So this is all red lettering, which is YAHAWASHI speaking. Okay. All right. It says at 35. Let me start in the keywords. Okay, time. It says, "Let your loin be girded about, and your lights burning." And the NLT version says, "Be dressed for service and keep your lamps burning." All right, so constantly be clothed with the wisdom and knowledge of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI and with the Ratazah, right? And keep your lamps burning. Stay on fire in this truth, all right? Stay on fire for YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, okay? You got it? You got 35? Amplified?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
This is the amplified version of Luke chapter 12, verse 35. Keep your loins girded and your lamps burning. Same thing.
Very simple. Okay. All right, so 36, right? It says, "And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately." All right. So in the NLT version here, it says, "As though you were waiting for your master to return from the wedding feast, then you will be ready to open the door and let him in the moment he arrives and knocks."
This is the amplified Bible version. "And be like men who are waiting for their master to return home from the wedding feast or their marriage feast, so that when he returns from the wedding, he comes to knock, that they may open the door immediately."
So we're constantly waiting daily for the return of our head, our Lord and Savior YAHAWASHI. All right, and so when he arrives, we will be prepared for his arrival and pretty much lay out the red carpet for him. All right, we're gonna show our head like, yeah, this is our head right here. This is our head. It's our shine right here. This is our king. All right, it's our big brother. All right, verse 37. The servants, let me get the TJ verse first. It says, blessed are the servants whom the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, when he cometh, and shall find watching. Verily, I say unto you, that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. The servants who are ready and waiting for his return will be rewarded. I tell you the truth, he himself will sit them, put on a apron, and serve them as they sit and eat. All right, and so if you look at it spiritually, we're looking at it as the apron is going to be that Ratazah, the wisdom and knowledge of YAHAWASHI Yahawashi, you know, it's on you, so you can be able to be served with what you're going to eat, which is the wisdom and knowledge of YAHAWASHI Yahawashi, the understanding of it. All right. The other version.
This is the Amplified Version, 37. Blessed, happy, fortunate, and to be envied are those servants who the master finds awake and alert and watching when he comes. Truly I say to you, he will gird himself and and have them recline at table and will come and serve them.
So that's what a watchman does. A watchman is constantly watching. All right, they're not going to be caught slipping. They're going to constantly be on watch, waiting for the danger that's approaching, so they can give warning to our people, right? And to also wait for the return of his master, his Lord. Okay, so he can let the people know, like, hey, our master is here. You know, prepare to open the door for our master. Prepare. Whatever that needs to prepare. Make sure everything's on point. Everything's good for our master. So we do not disappoint him and get him angry. All right. Verse 38. It says, and if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are the servants. It says he may come in the middle of the night or just before dawn, but whenever he comes, he will reward the servants who are ready. All right.
It's the Amplified Version. If he comes in the second watch before midnight, or the third watch after midnight, and finds them so blessed, happy, fortunate, and to be envied are those servants.
God, yep, God. If you caught being on your post, right? You constantly being a watchman. You're on your P's and Q's. You're constantly you're constantly fulfilling the instructions given to you, right? And you get caught doing what you're supposed to do, right? You're going to be rewarded because you did what your master said, what our master had instructed us to do. All right. Verse 39, it says, and this know that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief will come, he would have watched and not have suffered his house to the broken through. So here in the NLT version it says, understand this: if a homeowner knew exactly when a burglar was coming, he would not permit his house to be broken into. All right.
This is the Amplified Version. But of this be assured, if the householder had known at what time the burglar was coming, he would have been awake and alert and watching, and would have not permitted his house to be dug through and broken into.
Yeah, so you have a lot of people that's in this truth, right? That make mention that they're Hebrew Israelite, but yet they're not doing they're not fulfilling the instructions given by our master, by our Lord. So when YAHAWASHI comes unexpectedly, right, he's going to catch these, let's say these homeowners, right, these Israelites. He's going to catch them off guard. All right, he's going to catch them off guard, and he's going to reward them based off of what they did. And most likely, if you get caught slipping, you're doing wickedness, you're going to get rewarded what? Judgment. All right, punishment, a ass whooping. Okay. Verse 40, it says, you also must be ready all the time. Oh, so let me get that in King James verse. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not. It says you also must be ready all the time, for the Son of Man will come when least expected. All right. When you least expect it, that's when Yahawashi is going to catch you. He's going to got you, bitch. All right.
This is verse 40, Amplified Version. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour and a moment when you do not anticipate it.
Ooh, in a moment where you least anticipate it,
Yeah.
at a moment. So a moment can be like, boom, it's all of a sudden, all right? Verse 41, then Peter said unto him, Lord, speakest thou this parable unto us, or even to all? Peter asked, Lord Yahawashi, is that illustration just for us or for everyone? And the Lord, right, Lord Yahawashi replied, a faithful, 42 in the King James Version. And the Lord Yahawashi, right, Lord Yahawashi says, who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season? And the Lord Yahawashi replied, a faithful, sensible servant is one to whom the master can give the responsibility of managing his other household servants and feeding them. All right, so pretty much the steward is so you have a manager, a department manager, and then you have the supervisor. So the steward is pretty much like the next in command whenever you're gone, and you're giving him the responsibility to make sure everything's still good when you're gone, when you left, because you trust him with the responsibility that comes with your position. Okay? And here in the NOT version, we already got that spot.
No. This is the Amplified Version. And the Lord Yahawah Bahashaam Yahawashi said, who then is that faithful steward? The wise man who his master will set over these, or those in his household service, to supply them their allowance of food at the appointed time.
Verse 43, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. If the master returns and finds that the servant has done a good job, there will be a reward. So if you're constantly being a watchman, you're constantly doing the will of Yahawah Bahashaam Yahawashi, you're constantly prophesying the correct doctrine, you're constantly feeding the land, right? Constantly blowing the horn, warning our people, right? Lord willing, you will get caught doing the work so you can be rewarded, all right? With abundance, okay? Not with punishment and judgment, okay?
This is verse 43 in the Amplified Version. Blessed, happy, and to be envied is that servant who his master finds for doing when he arrives.
So you want to, instead of getting caught slipping, you want to get caught doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's having integrity, man.
Yep, exactly. Having integrity. Verse 44, of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. Was that 40? Yeah, 44. It says, I tell you the truth, the master will put that servant in charge of all he owns. Right?
Truly, I tell you, he will set him in charge over all his possessions.
Yep. Pretty much that's a steward, a trustworthy steward. A servant will be entrusted to have charge over what his master owns while he's gone. Okay, all right. Make sure things are still up and running. The business is still running, right? Usually, like when the store manager is not there, the store manager is going to expect, the manager. Doesn't matter, like the manager that has more experience, the assistant manager, the assistant manager to make sure the whole store is running. All right. Verse 45, it says, but, and if that servant say in his heart, his mind, right, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink, and to be drunken. Verse 46, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at that hour when he is not aware, he will cut him in sunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. So I'm gonna give 45 and 46 in NLT version. The master, okay, yeah. It says, but what if the servant thinks, my master won't be back for a while, and he begins beating the other servants, partying and getting drunk? The master will return unannounced and unexpected, and he will cut the servant in pieces and banish him with the unfaithful. All right, so you got a lot of Israelites in this truth that claims to be a teacher, right? Claim to be a prophet, but they're mistreating our people by not giving them the correct doctrine, right? Making them err, making them sin even more, right? Because lying about that there's not gonna be no JP, lying about that the Quran is not what it truly is, lying about that all these other nations can be saved, right? Pretty much just teaching the incorrect doctrine, right? And then now on top of that, you got Israelites in this truth that be going to like titty bars and shit on the actual like Sabbath or a high holy day, right? Party, getting drunk, acting all stupid on the Passovers, on the high holy days, right? Getting drunk, right? On other philosophies and carnally too, right? And then it says what? The master will return unannounced, unexpectedly. And you got a lot of our people that's in that spirit that they're going to, when Yahawashi returns, it's going to be unannounced, unexpected for them. All right? But a faithful servant is going to continue being on his watch and continue waiting. All right? Waiting for his master to come so he doesn't get caught slipping. All right? What?
This is the Amplified Bible to 45 and 46. But if that servant says in his heart, my master is late in coming, and begins to strike the manservant and maid, and to eat and drink and get drunk. 46. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour of which he does not know, and will punish him and cut him off and assign his lot with the unfaithful.
So you wicked ass Israelite, right? When Yahawashi returns, he's going to catch you at your most vulnerable, when you least expect it. All right, so that's when it hurts the most. When you're very comfortable, when you're at a point in your life where you're very comfortable, you think everything's all easy peasy, everything is good. That's when our powers will like, all right, I'm gonna get his ass right there. I'm gonna get her ass right there. Boom. And then when you get hit with some kind of judgment, some kind of punishment, it hits you and you feel it.
Put your pants down.
Huh? Yep. Verse 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. All right. It says, and a servant who knows what the master wants, but isn't prepared and doesn't carry out those instructions will be severely punished. All right. So, you were given the instructions. You know what your master requires, right? But you're still not you're still not prepared. And you're not carrying out those instructions, you're going to be punished severely. All right, you got it.
This is verse 47 in the Amplified Bible. And that servant who knows his master's will, but did not get ready or act as if he wished him to act, shall be beaten with many stripes.
You're going to be beaten with many stripes. You're going to be beaten with a divine, precious stone, chakreta, with a belt, with a spoon, with a broomstick, right? And those are just metaphors for types of judgment.
It says in parentheses, blasphemy.
lash. Verse 48, it says, but he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. So in the NLT version, it says, but someone who does not know and then does something wrong will be punished only lightly. When someone has been given much, will be required in return.
Yeah, much will be required.
Oh, much more will be required in return. Luckily. And when someone has been entrusted with much, even much more is required. So if you've been entrusted to be given the wisdom and knowledge of the Holy Scriptures, right? You know the names of our power, right? And you're giving the wrong instructions to our people. You're adding or taking from the words of our power, like from many examples, telling our people to commit adultery, to get back at another man because he did you dirty, giving our people ideas of where to buy drugs at, telling our people that they're not gonna be no bigger trouble, telling our people that charisma is anything and everything other than what it truly is, right? Your punishment is going to be much more greater than a Jake and Eve that don't even know about the truth, right? But still they're wrong, but their punishment may be a little bit lighter than to those who know that they're Hebrew Israelites, all right? Especially those who claim to be a teacher, all right? You got it?
This is verse 48. But he who did not know and did things worthy of a beating shall be beaten with few lashes. For everyone to whom who much is given, of him shall much be required, and of him to whom men entrust much, they will require and demand all the more.
So the more, the greater your lot is in this ministry, the more that is required. And if you don't fulfill what needs to be done in your lot, will come with a greater punishment. Okay, because you were entrusted with more responsibilities. Okay, verse 50. Is it verse 50? 49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? I have come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning. Ooh, go ahead.
This is verse 49. And I come to cast fire upon the earth, and how I wish that it were already kindled.
Ooh. Even our power wish that this bitch was already burning.
Yeah.
51. Verse 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straightened till it be accomplished? I have a terrible baptism of suffering ahead of me, and I am under a heavy burden until it is accomplished.
All right. This is verse 50. I have a baptism with which to be baptized, and how greatly and sorely I am urged on, impelled, and constrained until it is accomplished.
Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. Do you think I have come to bring peace to the earth? No, I have come to divide people against each other, and that's going to happen real soon. There's going to be a great division within households. And one of the precepts that came to mind is paraphrasing how a man's foe shall be of his own household, something like that. You know, pretty much, you know, your own family, those who are, you know, within your household are going to be considered your enemy. You're going to have that betrayal going on, that division going on, okay? Here, oh no, you got to have the version.
This is verse 51. Do you suppose that I have come to give peace upon you? No, I say to you, but rather the division.
Yep, so probably he's not coming with bygones, with peace. No, he's coming to execute judgment. He's coming to put Esau to an end. So Jacob can be the beginning of that follower, to usher in his kingdom, the kingdom of righteousness, everything's back in the right order, to fulfill the will of our Heavenly Father, Yahawah, and in the name of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWASHI, right? To pretty much do a major nationwide or global size house sweep, okay? Verse 52, for much henceforth there shall be, oh no, I think I already read that one. Oh no, I didn't read that. 32, for from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3, right? So it says here, from now on, families will be split apart, 3 in favor of me, and 2 against, or 2 in favor and 3 against.
This is the Amplified Version. For from now on, in one house, there will be 5 divided amongst themselves, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3.
There's going to be that great division going on, especially those who believe in YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and let's say you happen to live under the same roof with their family of this world, right? It's pretty much going to be what did they say? Against all odds, something like that. So, you know, pretty much, you know, it's going to be a great division within households, within families, especially, you know, for the brothers who are still living like close to their family members or within the same household. Oh, it's definitely going to be a great division. All right, definitely. We're gonna get this last one, verse 53. All right, it says, the father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. All right, so it's going to be a great division going on. Okay. All right.
Yeah, actually said the same thing verbatim.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's nothing to even really break down on that. It's very fucking simple right there.
I'm gonna get the other version for 2 Peter. We're gonna end it with 2 Peter 3 and 10. 2 Peter 3, 1. We're gonna get the King James version, then we're gonna get the yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna get the King James version, and then I'm gonna read it in the NLT version, and you can get it in any other version. Alright, so it's from Brother Ash. Alright, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, in the King James version. But the day of the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth, like the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So everything here in Babylon is going to be burnt up. Everything, you know, Esau's, you know, universities, the colleges, the MLB, NBA, NFL, soccer, AutoZone, and fucking the bodegas, you know, everything's gonna be burnt. Even the elements like rocks, the trees, the fucking highways and streets, concrete, basketball courts. You know, everything is going to be done with. All right, it's going to be melted, burned with the heat, which is from the second death, the lake of fire, caused by the nukes, right? And also from the chariots lighting this bitch up too. All right, so in the NLT version, It says, but the day of the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI will come as unexpectedly as a thief, when the heavens will pass away with a terrible noise, and the very elements themselves will disappear in fire, and the earth and everything on it will be found to deserve judgment. So even the elements here are going to receive judgment. It says deserve judgment. And real quick, before you get that, that lake of fire, you know, during World War III, which is the war that's going to end all war, right? It's going to be the very war that it's going to be it's going to be a nuclear warfare, and because of that war, that type of war is going to be the reason why this place is going to get burnt in the lake of fire, right? And everything's going to melt up here, and the character is going to add more fuel to it. All right, got it?
I'm gonna get the Amplified and the CEV for the crazy on that. This is the Amplified version. But the day of the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI will come like a thief, and then the heavens will vanish, pass away, with a thunderous crash, and the material elements of the universe will be dissolved with fire, and the earth and the works that are upon it will be burnt up. This is the CEV version. The day of the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI returns will surprise us like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a loud noise, and the heat will melt the whole universe. Then the earth and everything on it will be seen for what they are.
Ooh. Very simple, very clear. This place, Babylon, aka America, is really going to be no more. Everything of it is going to be done. It's pretty much going to become desolate, pretty much like a desert. All right. So so the Lord wouldn't bless it with edifying. All right. Again, right. Be on your P's and Q's. Always be ready as a good servant of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because His return, we can already see it. It's much sooner than we believe. Our salvation is much nearer than we believe. If we're willing. All right. THAWADAH for tuning in. THAWADAH to the Akim that tune in. Those frequent on the board. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI bless you and your house. All right. We're going to close out by giving a much due all praises, honor, and glory to the name of our power. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM THAWADAH. All right. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule on Futural. Much due respect to the Akim for labor and work. Shalom to you believers. To the Akim YAHAWAH. Be your brothers and sisters who subscribe to the truth. And as always, DTA above the ball soon. Alright, Kwam Yasharala. Alright, Lord willing, you got your daily bread in. Alright. Hey, real talk, Akim. Stay on your post. Alright, keep your hand on the plow. Keep fighting a good fight. Because Lord willing, real soon, He's going to return. And we can already see more signs. This upcoming Sunday, supposed to be that blood moon. Right after the Sabbath, so Lord willing, and this like the second or third one within a short time, within the same year, something like that. And we can already see that at any moment, all right. So don't get caught slipping, all right. Shalom. All right.